Long ago, in the 1800s, there lived a girl named Florence Nightingale. She grew up in a wealthy family in England, in a home filled with books and toys and music and comfort. Florence had everything she needed, but something still didn't feel quite right. Welcome back to Winter Nights with Imagine This Stories. Tonight's story is about a woman who walked quietly through dark hallways, carrying a lamp and bringing hope wherever she went. So get comfortable, grab a blanket, snuggle up, and for the next few minutes, imagine this. Florence Nightingale was born into a wealthy family in England in the early 1800s. Her home was beautiful and comfortable. She had tutors and books and music, more than everything she needed. But even as a young girl, Florence noticed something was missing. While other people talked about parties and fancy clothes, Florence noticed the servants who were sick. She noticed people in the village who were hurting, and deep in her heart, she felt something stir. Florence believed that God was calling her to care for people who were suffering. She prayed, she listened, and even as she grew, that feeling never went away. But there was a problem. In Florence's time, nursing was not a respectable job. Hospitals were dirty and crowded, nurses were often untrained, and many people believed sickness was just something you couldn't help. Florence's family strongly disagreed with her dreams too. Nursing, they said. That's not a job for someone like you. No, that'll just ruin your future. But Florence believed that serving others mattered more than her own comfort or the approval of other people. So she studied anyway, quietly, carefully. She learned how the body worked, how sickness spread, and how cleanliness could save lives. She believed that serving God meant doing everything she did the very best she could. Then, far away, a war broke out, the Crimean War. Thousands of soldiers were wounded. They were sent to military hospitals that were dark and overcrowded and filthy. Many soldiers weren't dying from their injuries, but from infection, cold, and hunger. When Florence heard about it, she knew what she had to do. This was what God had been preparing her for. Florence gathered up a group of nurses and traveled across land and sea to the military hospital. When she arrived, what she saw broke her heart. Men were lying on the floor. Bandages were dirty. The air smelled heavy and sick. There weren't enough beds or blankets or clean clothes. But Florence didn't complain. She didn't turn away and say, this isn't for me. She rolled up her sleeves and got to work. She scrubbed everything from top to bottom. She opened windows for fresh air. She washed sheets and hands and bodies, and she organized the supplies and the food. Little by little, the hospital began to change. And every night, when the building grew quiet, Florence picked up a lamp. She walked slowly through the dark hallways, checking on each soldier. She stopped beside their beds. She listened, she comforted, and whispered encouragement. The soldiers noticed. When they saw her lamp glow in the darkness, they felt safe. There she is, they'd whisper. Here comes the lady with the lamp. Because of Florence's care, fewer soldiers died. Florence didn't do her work to become famous. She didn't seek praise. She believed that when you care for others, you are showing God's love. Her lamp became a symbol, not just of light in the darkness, but of hope and compassion and service. Florence spent the rest of her life helping hospitals improve and teaching others how to care for the sick. Even when she became ill herself, she continued to serve through writing and teaching. She proved that serving others, even very quietly, can shine brighter than applause. Florence Nightingale reminds us that we don't have to be loud or famous to make a difference. Sometimes great acts of love and happiness in quiet places, one kind word at a time, can make all the difference. When we serve others, we carry God's light into the darkness, just like Florence Nightingale did. That's a good story. Want to hear something else cool? Florence Nightingale was born in 1820, the same year as Fanny Crosby. That's a story we did earlier this week. You got to check it out. She often worked through the night, which is why the lamp became her symbol. Florence used math and charts to prove to others that her ideas worked. So keep doing your math homework. You never know, it might come in handy. And her lamp is remembered as a symbol of care and hope. Thank you so much for listening, and please share this podcast with other people. I look forward to talking to you again soon as we imagine this. Bye.